The deep space research vessel Odyssey Dawn drifted silently through the black ocean of stars. Its engines pulsed with a low hum, steady and calm like a heartbeat in the void. Inside the ship, most of the crew slept through the long transit between systems. Only a few remained awake: scientists, engineers, and watch officers who monitored the ship's systems while others rested. Among them was Lieutenant Daniel Reeves, a human exobiologist known for his calm nature and quiet curiosity. He had been working in his small cabin, surrounded by glowing holoscreens that displayed alien DNA sequences. His mind wandered between work and the quiet loneliness that came with deep space missions. It had been months since the Odyssey Dawn had last made contact with another ship. Daniel rubbed his eyes and sighed. Another night, another strange sequence, he muttered. The crew had recently collected biological samples from a drifting escape pod near the Kuros Belta region, known for dangerous storms and disappearing ships. The pod had contained traces of something alive, something that wasn't human. He leaned back in his chair, listening to the hum of the ship. The clock showed 2:47 Galactic Standard Time. Everyone in his corridor was asleep. Then his cabin door beeped. Daniel frowned. Visitors were rare at this hour. "Come in," he said. The door slid open with a soft hiss. What stepped inside made his heart stop. It was a woman, tall and graceful, her skin faintly glowing under the room's soft light. Her hair shimmered like liquid silver, floating slightly, as if gravity struggled to keep it down. Her eyes bright blue with streaks of gold studied Daniel with quiet curiosity. And then, before he could say a word, she reached for the small metallic cloak around her shoulders and dropped it to the floor. Daniel froze. For a second, he thought she was doing something indecent, but no. The clothes she removed were not clothing in the human sense. The metallic layer fell away like armor, revealing a form-fitted crystalline exosuit beneath. It pulsed with soft energy, changing color with her breathing. She smiled gently, the expression strangely human. "Atmosphere is stable," she said in a melodic tone. "Temperature, acceptable. You are Daniel Reeves?" His mind raced. "Yes, I wait. How do you know my name?" The woman tilted her head. "Your ship's systems identify all registered crew. I linked with it." "I am sorry for intrusion, you." "Linked with the ship?" Daniel repeated, stunned. She nodded. "I needed to confirm this environment was safe before shedding my protection." It took Daniel a moment to understand. "That armor, it's a containment suit." "Yes," she said. "It maintained the correct molecular field for my species. Without it, I would not survive. At least not easily. But now, your ship's field generators stabilize the air. I can breathe." Daniel stood slowly. His scientific mind took over the surprise. "You're the being from the escape pod." "Wait," she smiled again. "Yes, I was retrieved from the storm sector. I did not expect hospitality." Daniel blinked. "We didn't expect to find someone alive in that pod. The crew thought it was empty." She took a step forward. "Your people are cautious, but kind." Her voice had an echoing quality, like two tones overlapping. It was calm, but carried deep emotion. Daniel could sense she wasn't hostile. Still, the fact that she was standing here in his cabin of all places was alarming. She wasn't supposed to be awake or roaming free. "I should probably alert the captain," Daniel said. The woman looked down. "If you must, but I hope to speak to you first." "Why me?" Daniel asked. "Because you were the first to touch the containment pod," she said softly. "You repaired the life support manually, with no fear. You spoke to me, though I could not answer." Daniel remembered. When they had found the pod, he had whispered, "Hang in there, whoever you are." It had been instinct, human, empathy. But somehow, she had heard him. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated, then said, "Your language cannot pronounce it well. But you may call me Lysera." "Lysera," Daniel repeated, testing the sound. "That's beautiful." She blinked slowly, her glowing eyes studying his face. "It means between stars and my tongue." Daniel smiled faintly. Fitting. There was a silence. Only the ship's hum filled the air. Then Lysera said something that made Daniel's heart quicken. "You're kind. You are different from what we expected." "What do you mean?" he asked. "We've seen transmissions. We thought humans were violent, unwise. But you fixed my pod instead of destroying it. You gave me warmth." She looked around his cabin. "And you speak to me as if I am one of you?" Daniel shrugged lightly. "That's what humans do. We talk first, shoot later most of the time." Lysera tilted her head, curious. "That is not how most species survive in this galaxy." "That's probably why we confuse everyone," Daniel said with a grin. She smiled again, this time, wider. It was a strange sight. Aliens rarely smiled the way humans did, yet here she was, mimicking it perfectly. Suddenly, the intercom buzzed. "Lieutenant Reeves, report to the medbay immediately," the captain's voice ordered. "We have a situation." Daniel looked back at Lysera. "Did you?" "I did not cause alarm," she said quickly. "But they may have detected my absence," he sighed. "All right then. Let's go before security thinks I've been kidnapped." Lysera nodded and followed him into the corridor. Her presence drew glances from the ship's lights. They flickered faintly as she passed. Whatever she was, she carried energy unlike anything human technology had seen. When they arrived at the medbay, the crew stopped in shock. Security officers raised scanners, medics whispered. Captain Halverson frowned deeply. "Lieutenant," the captain said slowly, "care to explain why our guest is walking freely through the ship?" Daniel saluted. "Sir, she came to see me. She says the ship's environment stabilizes her biology. She means no harm." Lysera bowed slightly, her silver hair shimmering. "Your vessel saved my life. I only wished to understand the ones who rescued me." The captain studied her with suspicion, but also fascination. "We'll have to verify that. For now, you'll remain under supervision." "That is acceptable," Lysera said calmly. As she was escorted to a containment chamber, she glanced back at Daniel. Her glowing eyes met his, and she whispered something that only he could hear. "This ship is not safe." Daniel froze. "What?" But before he could ask again, the chamber door sealed, the lock engaged. Hours later, Daniel sat at his desk staring at the footage of her entry into his cabin. She had bypassed every security layer with ease. No alarms. No forced override. The system itself had let her in. He opened the ship's diagnostic log. Dozens of entries showed unknown energy fluctuations, starting exactly when Lysera woke up. "She didn't just link with the ship," Daniel whispered. "She's connected to it." Then the lights dimmed. The hum of the engines faltered for a split second. A whisper passed through the ship's comm system. It's almost like static, but not quite. It was a voice. Daniel leaned closer to his console, heart pounding. "Daniel." It was Lysera's voice. "They are coming. You must trust me." The screen flickered with alien symbols. He didn't recognize coordinates. Warnings? And then the console went dark. Outside the viewport, the stars began to ripple. Something massive was approaching from the void. The stars outside the Odyssey dawns. Windows began to shimmer like water disturbed by an unseen force. The sensors screamed warnings in cold robotic voices. Energy readings spiked to impossible levels. Inside the ship's command bridge, red lights flashed. Crew members hurried to their stations. The calm of deep space was gone, replaced by silent dread. Captain Halverson stood at the center. Eyes locked on the main display. "Report." "Sir," the sensor officer said, "something's emerging from subspace. Size enormous. Multiple signatures. They're surrounding us." The captain's jaw tightened. "Are they ships?" "Unknown configuration. Not human. Not any design in the database." Daniel Reeves ran into the bridge, still in his lab coat. He looked at the screen and felt his stomach twist. Outside, huge, shadowed forms were materializing in the void shapes that looked half solid, half energy. They pulsed like living things. "They're alive," Daniel whispered. "What do you mean?" asked the captain. "Those aren't ships. They're organisms, living entities that travel through subspace." The communication officer turned. sir. Incoming signal unknown source, unknown language. The voice that filled the air was low and echoing, like 1,000 whispers speaking as one. No translation system could make sense of it. But somehow, Daniel understood pieces of its feelings more than words. Return her. He froze. They're asking for Lysera. The captain frowned. The alien in the containment chamber. Daniel nodded. Yes, they're her people. They're her pursuers. Are they hostile? Before Daniel could answer, the entire ship shuddered. One of the alien entities glided closer, tendrils of light brushing against the Odyssey Dawn's hull. Systems flickered. The ship groaned like something alive under strain, shields dropping to 60%. Yelled the engineer. They're draining power, said Daniel. Not attacking, feeding. The captain turned sharply. Get me the containment chamber. I want that alien awake and talking now. Deep inside the secure deck, Lysera stood in her transparent holding room, her silver hair floating around her face. She watched the walls hum with faint energy. When the door opened, Daniel stepped in with 2 guards behind him. Lysera, he said quickly, what's happening outside? Who are they? She looked calm but sad. They are called the Seraphine Swarm in your tongue. They are not my people, but they come from the same origin. They hunt those who escaped. Escaped from where? Daniel asked. From the Veil Cora world hidden in subspace. My kind once served them. We were part of their design. Daniel frowned. Design. She nodded. Created to serve, to guide their vast living fleets. But some of us learned freedom. They will not forgive it. Outside, the ship shook again. Lights dimmed. The air grew colder. The captain's voice came through the intercom. Reeves, those things are surrounding us. Do we have any chance of communicating? Daniel looked at Lysera. She said quietly, not with words. But I can reach them. I can speak to them. Through the ship? The ship? Yes. I am already connected. That is why I came to you. Daniel hesitated. You said the ship isn't safe? What did you mean by that? Lysera touched the wall. The lights around her hand shimmered. When I linked with your systems, I found something sleeping inside your engines. Something not built by humans. Daniel's eyes widened. What do you mean? Your drive Krit's energy is not entirely human technology. Your engineers found it drifting near the same region where I was born. It's a fragment of Seraphine design. Daniel. Remembered reading about it, the dark matter? Core discovered decades ago and used to power the Odyssey Dawn, humanity. Had believed it was an abandoned alien relic. So, they can sense it, he said. Yes, Lysera whispered. They think your ship stole part of their essence. That is why they will not let you go. The guards shifted nervously. Ma'am, if you can talk to them, do it before we're torn apart. Lysera closed her eyes. Then lower the barrier. Daniel looked at the security officer. Captain's orders. The intercom crackled. Do it, Halverson said. The barrier vanished with a soft hum. Lysera stepped out, her crystalline suit glowing brighter. The ship's floor lights brightened as she passed, reacting to her energy. She reached for the wall and pressed her palm against it. Her body pulsed with light, merging with the ship's circuits. Her voice became twofold again, one human-like, one distant and echoing. Seraphine. I am Lysera. I am not your enemy. The humans saved me. No one heard words. Instead, everyone felt the message inside their thoughts, like ripples in a calm pond. Then the bridge lit up. The alien entities outside paused. The tension in the air thickened. They are listening, Lysera said softly, but they are not convinced. Another rumble shook the hull. The creatures began to circle again. Daniel shouted, Tell them the humans had no idea what the core was. Lysera's light flickered. They believe you lie. The Seraphine never forgive theft. The ship's lights died. Alarms wailed. Power loss. Core destabilizing. Someone yelled. Lysera gasped. They are pulling it from you. They will take back their fragment. Daniel grabbed her arm. Then stop them. You're connected, fight back. She looked at him, fear in her glowing eyes. If I resist them, I reveal myself fully. They will destroy me. Daniel's voice hardened. If you don't, they'll destroy us all. For a moment, she hesitated. Then, she closed her eyes and let her energy flow. The ship came alive. Lights surged back on, brighter than before. Circuits glowed white-hot. Her voice filled every corridor, calm yet powerful. You will not take them, she said to the void. They are mine to protect. Outside, the Seraphine swarm pulsed angrily. Energy waves clashed against the Odyssey Dawn. The ship's shields flared. But somehow they held. Inside the bridge, the crew watched in awe. The alien energy from Lysera intertwined with the ship's systems, forming a shield far stronger than anything human made. What is she doing? The engineer whispered. She's rewriting the ship's core, Daniel said. She's binding it to her own life force. Won't that kill her? Daniel didn't answer. On the main screen, one of the Seraphine forms broke apart under the energy feedback. The others recoiled. The stars seemed to shake as their strange bodies flickered in and out of visibility. Lysara's body trembled. Cracks of light ran across her crystalline armor. Daniel caught her as she staggered. Stop, he said. You've done enough. Her voice was faint. Not yet. They will come again. I must finish the link. The ship's AI system suddenly came online, its tone different almost. Alive integration at 67%. Unknown entity merging with core consciousness. Daniel looked around. She's merging with the AI. The captain's voice shouted from the bridge. Reeves, what's happening down there? She's saving us, sir. Don't interrupt her. The hull groaned one last time, then silence. The Seraphine swarm faded away, slipping back into subspace as quickly as they had come. The red lights turned to green. Power levels stabilized. Everyone exhaled in relief. But Lysera lay motionless in Daniel's arms, her body glowing faintly. Lysera, he whispered, her eyes opened slightly. The danger has passed. For now, you saved us. She smiled weakly. No, you saved me first. Then her glow faded, and her body turned cold. Daniel called for medics. They rushed her to the medical bay. But her life signs were strange, neither living nor dead. Energy patterns shifting beyond their instruments' reach. Hours later, Daniel sat beside her in the med bay. The ship was quiet now, moving safely through calm space. He watched the faint light that still pulsed under her skin. It reminded him of a heartbeat. The captain entered quietly. How is she? Alive, I think. But she's changed. The ship's sensors show her energy signatures spread through the entire system. So she's part of the Odyssey Dawn now? Daniel nodded slowly. Yes. In a way, she is the ship. The captain sighed. Then maybe she bought us more than time. Maybe she gave us something new. Daniel looked at the glowing lines on the medbay walls. They pulsed in rhythm with her faint heartbeat. She said they'll come again, he murmured. Then we'll be ready, the captain replied. But Daniel wasn't sure. Deep inside the ship's data core, new code was appearing written in a language no human could understand. And somewhere, in the endless dark beyond the stars, something stirred. A whisper, faint but growing, echoed across subspace. Find the human ship. Bring back what was stolen. The Odyssey Dawn glided silently through a calm sector of space, but the peace was fragile. Every crew member knew that the Seraphine swarm would return. The ship's systems hummed with a strange resonance like Sarah's energy now intertwined with the vessel itself. Her presence was no longer confined to the medbay. The ship's walls glowed faintly, responding to her thoughts and intentions. Daniel Reeves walked the corridors, his steps echoing softly. He paused before the medbay door, peering at the faintly glowing figure lying inside. Lysara's crystalline form shimmered under the medical lights, and faint pulses of energy ran along the floor and walls like rivers of light. She's awake, Daniel whispered. The medics had backed away, unsure of how to monitor a being now partially merged with the ship itself. Lysara's eyes opened slowly, glowing blue and gold as always. She looked at Daniel, her expression calm yet serious. "They'll come," she said. Her voice was both hers and something larger, resonating with the ship's core. "They'll find us," Daniel said, "but we're ready this time. You showed us a way to fight back." Sarah's lips curved into a faint smile. "I did not fight alone. Humanity saved me, and now you will save yourselves." Daniel's mind raced. He had studied alien life for years, yet he had never seen anything like her, a being whose energy could merge with machines and even subspace itself. "They are not like any enemy we have faced," he said. "What happens if they breach the outer shields?" Lysera's gaze softened. "Then we will not only defend, we will teach. They must understand that humans are different, that you cannot be controlled and you cannot be underestimated." Her words carried weight. Daniel felt a surge of pride, an unshakable human certainty rising inside him. This was why humans survived. Even when the odds seemed impossible, they adapted. They risked everything for others, and they stood against forces far beyond their comprehension. Hours passed. The ship's scanners lit up suddenly. "The Seraphine were approaching, faster and more numerous than before. They know we survived," Daniel said, rushing to the bridge. "They are coming for us again." Captain Halverson looked at the view screen. The swirling shadows of the swarm stretched across the void. "Lieutenant Reeves," he said, "we fight or we die. Any other options?" Daniel shook his head. "Only Lysera's way. If we can merge fully with her, the ship can resist them. But it will take a risk. We might lose her energy in the process." The captain nodded. "Do it." Daniel and Lysera moved to the central core room. Lysera's form shimmered brighter as she prepared to merge with the ship's AI. The lights pulsed in rhythm with her breathing ore. What passed for breathing now? "Hold on to me," she said. "This will feel strange." Daniel touched her hand. A surge of warmth and energy rushed through him. His mind felt connected to hers, and through her, he could feel the ship, its circuits, its engines, its hull alive. He could sense every part of the Odyssey Dawn, as though it were an extension of his own body. "Prepare for integration," Lysera whispered. "We act together, human and ship united." The crew watched in awe. Red warning lights flickered, then disappeared as Lysera's energy enveloped the ship. Outside, the first Seraphine tendrils reached for the hull, but they recoiled. Pulsing against a wall of light that the ship itself had become, Daniel could feel her resolve. She was not just defending the ship, she was rewriting the rules of engagement. Energy flowed along every corridor, forming barriers, countermeasures, and even offensive patterns that the crew could not understand but could see work. "They can't touch us," Daniel said, voice trembling. "Not while she's like this." Lysera's smile was calm but fierce. "We are one. They will learn the cost of underestimating humans." The Seraphine tried to strike again, more forceful this time. Huge tentacle-like shadows whipped against the hull, but each contact created a burst of light so intense it forced the swarm to retreat slightly. On the bridge, the sensors showed something new. The ship's AI had become active in a way never programmed. It was responding to the Seraphine, as if alive, guided by Lysera's will. Daniel realized that she had not just merged with the ship, she had awakened it. "They're not retreating." The engineer yelled. "They're circling. They'll hit us from all sides." Lysera's voice echoed through the ship, both melodic and commanding. "Let them come. We are ready." The first wave collided with the shields. Energy rippled across the hull, casting eerie shadows of light onto the bridge walls. The crew braced as the ship groaned under the strain. Daniel felt it in his chest, as though the ship's heartbeat was in rhythm with his own. Then something remarkable happened. Lysera projected her energy outward, forming luminous tendrils that reached into the swarm. The alien forms recoiled at first, then seemed to hesitate. For a moment, Daniel could see what she was doing, communicating, not attacking. She showed them a vision of humans, resilient, adaptable, brave, and willing to risk everything for others. One of the largest Seraphine forms paused, its pulsing energy dimming. It seemed to understand. Daniel watched, stunned. "They're listening," he whispered. Lysara's energy surged again. They see now. They see that humans are not prey. We are partners of life, not tools to be controlled. The Seraphine hesitated, then slowly began to withdraw. Their forms flickered, melting into the void, leaving only ripples behind as they returned to subspace. The threat was not gone entirely. They would return, but for now. The humans had survived. The ship groaned one last time and fell silent. The red warning lights faded, replaced by soft green illumination. Lysara's energy dimmed inside the core room. Daniel rushed to her side. "Lysara, are you okay?" She smiled faintly, exhausted but alive. "I am connected to the ship. It is part of me now. I feel it. It feels safe." The captain arrived, face serious but relieved. "Lieutenant Reeves." "What did she do?" Daniel shook his head. "She merged with the ship. She became its heart and mind. She saved us all." Halverson nodded slowly. "And we will owe her everything." Days passed. Lysara remained in the core room, her energy stabilizing within the ship. The crew adapted to her presence, walking the halls and working with her guidance. The Odyssey Dawn became more than a ship. It was a living vessel, guided by a bond between human courage and alien power. Daniel spent hours studying her. He realized she was more than just an alien or a protector. She was proof of humanity's impact on the galaxy. Humans had saved her without fully understanding what she was. They had trusted, empathized, and acted without fear. That trust had changed the course of the battle. "You saved us," Daniel said quietly, standing beside her. She smiled, luminous and gentle. "No, you saved me first. And in doing so, you showed them the strength of your kind." He looked at her, awe and gratitude mixing in his chest. Humanity had always faced the unknown with courage, but now, standing beside this alien being who had risked everything for them, Daniel understood something deeper. Humans did not just survive, they inspired, they protected. And they changed the galaxy simply by existing. The captain spoke from behind them. "Lysara, we need to chart a course for the nearest system. It's time for repairs and analysis. But more than that, we need to understand what you have given us." Lysara's eyes glowed softly. "I will guide you. But remember this, humans, the galaxy will test you again. You must be ready not just to fight, but to lead, to inspire, and to protect what you care for." Daniel nodded. He looked out the viewport at the endless stars, now calm again. The Seraphine were gone for now, but he knew they were watching, waiting, yet he was not afraid. Humanity had faced the impossible and survived. And now, with Lysara bound to their ship, they were stronger than ever. The Odyssey Dawn began its course toward the nearest star system, living symbol of human resilience. Lysara's energy pulsed softly through the ship, like a heartbeat in the vast emptiness of space. Daniel watched her glow and smiled. "We'll face the galaxy together," he said, and for the first time in weeks, the universe seemed less like a threat, and more like a canvas waiting for humans to leave their mark. The stars stretched endlessly ahead. But Daniel knew one truth: humanity would not just survive, they would thrive. And beside them, Lysara would ensure that their light reached further than anyone had ever imagined.